us the floor if that's the case?
Sorry,
Are you giving us the floor now?
just 1 second. I
Okay.
just would like to say welcome everybody to the second lecture of this coil in environmental sustainability. Today we have Dr. Sophie Shauli and Dr. Stan Sofer from Gordon Academy College, and we talk about education and environmental sustainability. Now the floor is yours, Stan. If you could please introduce yourself, and the same for Sophie, and of course you can start your lecture.
Okay. I'm Dr. Stan Sofer. I'm a geologist by profession with about 40 years of experience in the educational system, also in the secondary system, and also in the academic system. The field of my research has been in sustainability, and I've had rich experiences mentoring students for master's degrees in subjects such as the green schools and green kindergartens, and have been active in also in the process of the greening of our campus about 15 years ago. Uh, so I hope that I can bring to this lecture the wealth of my experience and share my thoughts with you about the role of education and sustainability. Sophie,
Good afternoon. My name is Sophie Shauli. I'm the head of science department in Gordon Academic College, and I'm working with STEM, and I'm glad to do it. And I'm teaching mostly biology in the science department in Gordon. And recently, I'm involved in the research of science education and of climate education with Stan recently and with other colleagues from our college. Nice to meet you all.
nice to meet everybody this afternoon. And I'm going to, my goal today was to have more of an interactive session in where we'll start off with an icebreaker, uh, basic question that I want to ask all of you. Then I'll do a short presentation. We'll do an activity in a breakout room, and we'll do a summation, all within 52 minutes. Okay, I'm a great believer in keeping in time. All right. So, Sophie, okay, what we're going to do, and we really, really need your active participation. If this is going to work, we need you with us. Okay. So, um, I have a basic question to ask you. Okay, and this is, what is the one thing you learned in school that influenced how you think about the environment today? Okay, we have this on Padlet, and I think, Sophie, we can open up the Padlet, or you can open up the Padlet now, and
It's
we
already
can,
opened and the link is in the
it's in
chat.
it's in the chat, and give you a couple of minutes. I want to hear your reactions. Okay, so can we open up the Padlet now and see people's reactions as they're writing, or
It needs a username and a password. This is the message that I'm receiving.
really?
I don't know. Probably let's try the
Same,
other.
same here. Same here.
Same here. Minute. I will try something else.
Okay. If not, just throw it in the chat so we don't waste time. Okay, it's what we have a chat for. So if the Padlet doesn't work, we can go straight to the chat.
So,
And
Stan, can you please repeat the question?
the
What
question
we
is this, okay? What is one thing you learned in school that influenced how you think about the environment today? To respect it. Okay, one person, when I did the experiment with the Padlet before, one person said, I learned nothing. I learned nothing. Okay. the way to the school, the fact that man thinks about sustainability for the survival of humankind and not for the planet itself. Ah, very good. Very good.
You can
Okay.
try the tablet once again. I hope I
Okay.
managed to fix it.
The second link that Angela was sharing is actually working.
Okay,
I
great.
see participant on the Padlet.
Okay, great. So can we view it, Sophie?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
possible?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Waste sorting. Well, while you are writing, maybe I'll tell you a little story about myself and what I learned in school. I didn't really learn in school. I don't want to tell you when I went to school, okay? Because then here we go. Yeah. The first time I had anything to do with the environment or had anything to do with the environment was on April 22nd, 1970. Now, maybe that date might ring a bell for you, for some of you, but that was actually the first Earth Day. And at the time, I was in the United States, and we like to protest a lot. So what happened on that day was, it was the first Earth Day. So instead of going to class, we protested for the Earth, right? It was the first Earth Day. It was a happening, something. It's probably a word that we don't know in 2026, but in in the 1960s and 70s, we had a lot of happenings. People getting together and protesting about anything and everything. And this was the first time that I had anything to do. Of course, it wasn't in the school. It wasn't from the school. We left class in order to demonstrate for the earth. And that was my first experience with environmental sustainability. And I could say we've come a long way since. All right, so we're getting fantastic waste sorting. Progress in technology also run together with new type of waste. Unfortunately, the environment today is treated badly and put in second place compared to industry. The Everything is connected and every action we take has a consequence. Excellent. Yes. My school actually did a lot. Yeah, maybe when you see the PowerPoint, it might remind you of what you went through during your educational experience. And one important thing we learn at school about the environment is the importance of protecting nature. We learn that pollution, deforestation can damage the planet. Yes. To be honest, at that time, it was not that important. That's right. And my teacher didn't pay attention to the topic. Nothing, unfortunately. And this is coming from students, I hope. I would have a feeling that if we did some sort of research and we did an age variation, I'm sure the older the participant in this survey, the less contact they had in education regarding environmental sustainability. I remember my English teacher being very cautious about these themes, and so our class started to ask a lot about the environment. It was also the time when Greta Thunberg began her protests, and this awoke something in me. Very good. Unfortunately, the environment today is treated badly and put in second place. All right. Okay. Does anybody want to comment? The floor is free before I go on to the next stage. I'm really excited about your answers. I think that it really goes very well with what I'm going to say and how we're going to conclude. Okay, very good. What I'm going to do now is I'll start our presentation, but I want to make a connection to what we learned last week. Because one of the goals of education is to provide active citizens that will contribute to the global economy. Okay? If you think about it, isn't that what the role of education is? The role of education is to produce lawyers, to produce doctors, engineers, right? Um, and today, without a doubt, we are now confronted with the problems of sustainability, environmental sustainability on our planet, and making education a very, very crucial, or giving education a very, very crucial role in trying not only to prepare our students to become future citizens of the global economic market, but also to have a active role in sustainability. And this might tie in a bit with the lecture that we heard last week, because the ideal situation is, how do we coordinate these things together? Okay. I think you have very good ideas and very good comments here, and I think we'll be able to build upon them as we go along with today's lecture. So what I want to do now is give a brief lecture before we go on to the next stage. Okay? Just let me know if, okay. In a second, you should be able to see the slide, okay? Okay, does everybody see?
Yes, we can see them.
Wonderful. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So what do we want to do today? We really want to understand the relationship between education and environmental sustainability. Okay, we're saying that through education, we want to prepare us future citizens that will be environmentally responsible. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But we'll see that it's a little bit more complicated than it actually is. Hopefully, within the breakout rooms, I hope very much that you might be able to compare your experiences of environmental education, with the different countries that are represented today, and maybe present ideas. I'm going to end the lecture more with a question than with an answer, but maybe through today's lecture, we will have some sort of idea of different ways in which sustainable behavior can be promoted. Sophie, anytime you want to say something, just interject, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Or I might ask you to interject at some stage. Okay, so we talk about education for sustainable development, okay? Basically, what we want to do is equip our learners with skills, values, and attitudes. And this has been promoted by UNESCO. And in fact, one of the reading materials that I gave in the syllabus was actually a handbook that discusses 17 different aspects of environmental sustainability, including what was discussed last week. Not only, climate change and water environments and land environments, but also food maintenance, preventing poverty, gender equality. This is all interrelated. So basically, what you see and what I would hope that you come out from this lecture, it's very simple. I have it right over here on the bottom. Education, okay, should give us the knowledge so that we become more aware. This awareness should hopefully cause a behavioral change, and at the end, the result should be that we will become responsible citizens towards environmental sustainability. Okay, that's the model. That's the model. This is what I'm going to be repeating time and time again. So, UNESCO has this great handbook. I looked at it. It's fantastic. It has 17 different sustainable development goals. 17. I just gave 4 of them as a short example, like quality education, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life on land. But there are 17 of these. Anybody that has the challenge of teaching environmental sustainability can use this as a handbook. It not only gives you the basic information, it also gives you ideas and even more than that, case studies. So it's really worthwhile to look at. Um, so basically, what I'm saying, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Um, Education for sustainable development should create knowledge, um, uh, and skills and values in order to increase our awareness and maintain some sort of behavior. Is, is everything okay? And maintain sustainable development goals. So, what are the roles of the schools and the universities? Well, first of all, to implement the knowledge, skills, and values needed to understand environmental challenges, to develop environmental literacy from a young age, from kindergarten age, through the university level, to create responsible attitudes towards nature and the environment, and at the end, to make us active citizens in order that we can deal with real world environment problems. Now, active citizens, if we take into account of what I said before, that maybe the role of education is to enable future citizens in the global economic market. If we implement environmental sustainability in the educational system, it doesn't matter in what direction you go, whether you're an engineer, whether you're a doctor, whether you're whatever profession, or even a lawyer, if you have that background in environmental sustainability, it can make you a better or a more, oh, not a better, but rather a citizen that is more aware of the environment, which is something that we, as you mentioned before, that we really need as we increase environmental degradation. Sophie, at the end of this, you might want to make a comment, okay? Because what I want to do is talk about the basic research that we have done. Now, we've done research regarding education and behavioral change. And the truth of the matter is that we see within our students that when that the knowledge level is pretty good. In other words, once they've taken some courses in sustainability, they have a basic knowledge, and it does affect their attitudes. Their attitudes are positive, okay? But when we checked their behavior, how active they were, we saw that this does not translate into activity. In other words, they're more knowledgeable, the students are more knowledgeable, they have positive attitudes toward the environment, just like I saw you did as well in your comments in the Padlet. But how does this translate into sustainable behavior? And I think this is the basic problem that we have right now, okay? And then this is it. Although we implement the knowledge, we develop positive attitudes, it does provide the foundation, but it doesn't necessarily make the active citizen. Sophie, at this point, would you like to say something? Would you like to add
Well,
something?
our recent research, we found out that it's also the beliefs that motivate the people, and there are emotional aspects that are the background of the behavior, not only knowledge and attitudes affect
Mhm.
the decisions when you come to make the decision whether you throw your garbage or you recycle it or whatever. You save energy, you don't, you use the bus, you use your own car. It's a lot more than just environmental knowledge that motivates you.
That's it. So in other words, so you have the knowledge, you have the motivation, does not translate into action. Okay? Basically, that's what we found. This is what we found. So basically, very quickly, wait a second, I have to go back. I want to talk about sustainable education, starting from kindergarten to university. So I wanted to give some case studies. So one case study is the Forest Kindergarten in Denmark and Sweden. I think that at the ripe age of 3 to 5, the most important thing we can do to develop positive attitudes towards environmental sustainability is to implement to the children the love of nature. And I think this is something that we've been doing for generations. The children always, at an early age, learned about the seasons and the beauty, and just to appreciate the beauty of nature. And at this stage, like the forest kindergartens, which take the kids outside and already involve them with all kinds of activities outdoors, it already is an initial start to make children aware of their environment, to appreciate nature, to love nature, to be curious about nature, and already instill these positive attitudes. And mind you, even at the kindergarten stage, you can involve kindergartens with community action. I think the community action is a very important part. Depending upon the community that you're involved in, if the community or if the local government is very prone for environmental action, then you'll see it also in the educational system, and you'll see also the support within the educational system. Okay, when we get to the primary school level, we have an example of eco schools, in which thousands of students worldwide are involved with recycling programs, all kinds of initiatives, growing gardens, and also, community projects. I could give you I want to keep an eye on the time. I want to give you a very short, quick example of what happens in the town nearby. Some of the farmland has not been developed and has remained agricultural. And the students and the pupils of this town, like once a week, either in the morning for an afternoon, come out to the farm and are involved with all kinds of activities, growing, watering, and the fact that they have this contact with nature definitely develops the responsibility or the initiative to appreciate the environment. Now, at this stage, I don't think that I think that the important role of educators here is to teach the children the beauty of nature. I don't think they have to know yet the dangers. I think that should come at a later stage, more like in the secondary school stage and the university stage. So let's get to that now. By the time students are in secondary school, they have acquired all kinds of cognitive skills, applicative skills, skills in critical thinking, and then we can really discuss the major problems. They can do research, they can deal with data, they can definitely become more active from a cognitive point of view, starting from, I'd say, secondary school level up to the university level. So what we try to do is what we should try to do is to develop environmental literacy, critical thinking that will eventually come to some sort of civic engagement, empowering them to be active participants in the environmental decision making. Okay, that's all I wanted to say for now. And what I would like to do is possibly, and here, this is going to be my most challenging part, Sophia. if you'll know how to put people into groups, what I want to do is have a breakout room activity. But before we break out, I want to explain exactly what we want to do here, okay? The question that I am proposing in the breakout rooms is as follows. Should environmental education be a mandatory subject in all schools worldwide? Okay, you're going to say yes. And if you say yes, it's still not you're still going to think about it, okay? In order to be an icebreaker, in order to discuss different aspects of the cultures, if you're definitely in a breakout room with people from different countries, how is environmental education currently taught in your country? And if so, how is it taught? Within each group, I would like for you to discuss the main question again: should environmental education be mandatory worldwide? Well, you can argue in favor and say, yeah, our group believes environmental education should be mandatory because, or you could say our group believes environmental education should not be mandatory worldwide because. But if everybody thinks that it should be mandatory worldwide, then I think you should also think of a possible another answer, which is our group believes that one major challenge to implementing environmental education as a mandatory subject in schools worldwide is. In other words, maybe you could think of what is the major challenge, preventing the implementation of environmental education as a mandatory subject. So, is the activity clear to everybody? Does anybody have any questions? Hello?
It's clear, but I don't have the permission from here to make the breakout rooms. Do you have it, Ilaria?
I will try to create them. I
Thank you.
would like just to say that I will assign casually the people to the group, because I believe that the majority of the participants are from Unnettuno, so it's hard to have kind of different countries inside the same group. But
Okay,
the
I think the most important thing is just to get them into the groups, and because we have a time element here, and just as long as they're in small groups and discussing, and we're going to come out with some outcomes afterwards. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think I'll stop the share. Okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
How many groups? 5, you said?
We're 30, 4 to 5. Yes, 5, 6.
Let's say 6 then.
Okay.
Okay, it should be working. Let me know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so everybody understands. So before we break out, what to do, right? Basically, should environmental sustainability be mandatory in the educational system? If so, why? If not, why? Or what are the major challenges, preventing environmental sustainability? Okay. Well, I have an ability to go into the different rooms to check out. I know that I'm in one of the rooms. Okay, so maybe I'll join that room now.
Okay, I just didn't include the co-organizer to the breakout rooms.
Place me because I will bring the Greek aspect, and also Maria Fotiu from HMU is here. So we are more Greeks. I think that we are 5 Greeks.
Okay, I just put outside you and me, I believe, because we are the only.
No. Join me. I would like to participate as a student.
Okay, let me know.
And Maria also. Maria is a student, so she's not assigned to a room.
I believe Katya as well. I see some other students. You haven't been assigned to a room?
No, me no.
Should we go to the room that? Okay.
Yes, please join them. Costas, in your case, I don't know how to allow you because
I will go to a room by myself. I will
Sorry.
self-invite.
So for the others still in the plenary session, haven't you been assigned to a room? Katia, Michelangelo, Gaetano, Andrea?
I can join to the room, but I can't participate
It tells to me that you have been assigned to room 5.
Right. Okay.
Yes. If you could please join, thank you. The same as for Gaetano, Andrea. Sorry guys, just to check. Are you joining the breakout room? Did you receive the invitation to join the room 5? Yes. So I can see you still here. Okay, Andrea, let me check why you cannot. I don't know what is wrong with your names. I have Gaetano, Katia, and Andrea. I don't have the option to send you again the link. I don't know why. I'm looking for it. I'm sorry. In the meantime, if you would like to discuss among yourself, I'm very sorry, but I'm trying to figuring out. Sorry.
Excuse me, where is my room?
Excuse me?
I go out from my room. I'm in room 1.
Okay,
Ero
but
nella stanza 1.
okay, okay. I got it, but we are actually ending all the sessions, so don't worry, we are coming back to the plenary session.
Ah, okay. Okay. Sorry.
Don't worry.
Oh. Hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Do you hear me now? Do you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe everyone
Absolutely.
is here.
Okay. Can we have a representative of a group in one or two sentences and say what you came up with?
I
Why
believe Kostas has a
is it
question before
mandatory?
we start.
No, I don't have a
Yeah.
question. I represent Alessandro and Jasmine. So you ask us, to volunteer. We had a very nice discussion, the three of us.
Yes.
Actually, it was a fourth one, but he was a little bit a ghost.
Uh-huh.
He did not interact, but also because of lack of time. So Jasmine
Yes.
and Alessandro, do you want me or do you want to summarize? What did we discuss?
No, it's okay, Costa, go forward.
Yeah, democracy in Greece.
Okay.
So we discussed this, and then regarding the first two questions, because we did not have time, but I can respond it since I took a picture of the questions. All right. So we believe that the education about environmental sustainability should be mandatory from the very young kids, because we build habits, to have and to demonstrate environmental sustainability and stability is a culture. It's how we have learned to live, and how we have learned to respect the others, but also the environment. So the three of us representing almost three different countries: Greece, Cyprus, Alessandro now is in Cyprus, or Jasmine. We had three different systems, and the three of us, we agreed that it should be mandatory. Why? First of all, as I mentioned, it's a culture, it's a way of thinking. It's like a habit. As we go to clean our face every morning, or to have shower, not once per month, but daily. This is like a part on how we should circulate our garbages, how much water we should use for in order to how to wash our plants, and etc. And we believe that this can happen in two ways, as Alessandro has mentioned. One way is, and Alicia, Jasmine, one way is like through the schools, in order to give them an examples, small daily habits, what is the impact in the environment, and how you can be the protagonist. So to give them a motivation that they are doing something really important, even by circulating, the garbages every day. Active citizenship, I think, Alessandro, and here I will apply the citizen science to involve citizens of the town in the whole process, either by organizing an event, again, Alessandro mentioned cleanup day or whatever, but also bonuses in the neighborhoods. Like if you make, let's say, good recycling of your garbages, which is a respect towards the environment, the fees of this neighbor is going to, the public fees, they will go down. All right, so to give some motivation. The other thing that we discussed is also examples from the industry, like by protecting the environment, you generate more energy, or you save more energy by having these habits. And then we believe that the challenges, like in my case, it was lack of knowledge. I gave them the example. My wife was complaining me, like, you stand as a boss. Costas, you should be circulate your garbages, in a proper way. But did not happen. My wife is grew up in Boston, so she had different habits and different awareness of what's happening there. I was too much Greek. But now, after a visit in Vietnam, I learned and I realized, the messages. So, lack of knowledge. A lot of times right now, in the world, we have some extremism. I was last year in the States as a Fulbright, and the current president does not believe in the climate change. So you cannot even speak about this. All right?
No,
so
there was a blizzard. There was a blizzard in the
placing,
northeastern
it's very
United States.
dangerous now.
What about global
there's
warming?
No problem. And the other thing is lack of motivation. Sometimes we need to give them motivation in order to be engaged into the game and generate this culture, or to reward good practices. This is what we discussed, and I probably forgot something because my colleague Jasmine would like to add something.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I studied in Italy. Right now I live in Colombia, but when I was in Italy, our teachers always were like, they felt like they have to accomplish something in school, so they didn't have time to waste on these themes. Also, they had like someone ahead of them, and they have to respond to them. So I think the lack of time. Also, it's like something in school. It should be in school. Of course, I do believe that this type of education should be in school, but school, it's like by the government. So it depends. It really depends on the government how they can. Exactly. So it's really hard. I understand that it's hard. It should be easy. It shouldn't be hard, but it is, because I think our teachers were always so because they had to talk about a lot of themes, and they were like, but I also have to teach you these things.
Right. What I presented was very simple. I mean, it's a very simple thing: education, awareness, behavior, active citizen. Well, but In reality, this is very complicated because of what you just said. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe that the thing also, right now I live in Colombia, so it's very different from where I grew up. So I had to like see that they do some things that in Italy they don't do, but also in Italy they do some things that here they don't do. So maybe also is communicate between like different country is very important.
Excellent. Do we have another group that wants to present their
Muy bien,
results?
Yasmin. So we were four
Excellent.
countries: Colombia,
Excelente.
Greece, Cyprus, Italy.
Excelente. Yeah, excelente. Another group wants to present their findings, their discussion, their statement,
I
what they
see
think.
Joele raised his hand, so
Yes.
please.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, my group was a group of six, and Rosalinda, and there was also Angelo, Wycliffe, and apologize, I forgot the last member. But in any case, we come with a really stimulating discussion for the topic of the mandatory educational environment in school. Of course, we come with the same agree and say that yes, should be mandatory for the well-known reason that we already discussed, and also topic that we share with the already presenter here. But we also thought that it is important also for a topic that is something that students will face for sure in the future. So it's something that is really important for students from the primary school till the university to be well prepared for something that they will facing for sure, and they are already facing. So have the knowledge, the skills, and all the ideas that can help in for them to approach with this topic. We also try to do an exercise to think what will be the risk in being mandatory. And we thought that in some countries that we know, there is a different opinion for the educational environment. So maybe be mandatory can also push some political in the schools. So we was thinking, okay, should be mandatory to have the time for the students to learn this topic, for the teacher to explain this topic. But the risk in some country can be that the mandatory will be the opposite. So to teach something that will be not really maybe for the awareness of this, but fighting. So should be for sure mandatory, but we will try to do this kind of exercise to think about if should be something that a common educational and international educational for the environment, and not something that maybe only some kind of country can push on the school, only some kind of ideas that maybe go against the future. And yes, but for the rest, we in group we agreed that should be mandatory for this reason. Only this small of exercise we add in the end.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very, very important. Is there anybody else raising? Oh, wow. Now I just see somebody. Okay, Carlota, do you want to just in a couple of sentences say what you just wrote?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me right.
Okay.
So for me, it should be mandatory, but I think at the same time that we talked about having like an habit for the children while they are learning sustainability. The thing is that I'm right now working with children, and I found like sometimes they have problems with the habits because their parents guide them through their lives. So they can be really interested about knowing sustainability and creating habits, but at the same time, they cannot really create a really good habits because the parents are not really interested in the topics of sustainability. So for me, it's like something kind of not only mandatory for the children, but also for the parents and also for the grandparents. So everyone should be informed about the topic.
You bring up a very good point because, on the one hand, when we talk about technology and smartphones and all these things, well, the parents and the grandparents are learning from the children. So if they're learning how to use modern technology from the children, so why can't they develop better environmental sustainability habits also from the children? I mean, it does go two ways. And today we see that education is going in two ways, especially with technology, when children are more technologically advanced from their parents and grandparents. Okay? Yes, Ilaria, I'm aware of the time, so I'm going to start. I just want to say, also from our group, let me just make sure. Lara mentioned the fact that there's also a difference of attitude depending upon where you live. If you live in industrial areas, if you live in major cities, and you don't have that much contact with nature like in rural areas, that can be a challenge as well in developing a mandatory schedule or mandatory commitment to teaching environmental sustainability. Sophie, do you have any closing remarks before I have my closing question and then we'll let everybody go?
I just want to say something that Marco in our
Okay, great.
room said.
Yes.
Marco, do you want to say it? He said that the teacher should be with a passion when he teaches
Yes.
the environmental subjects. It's not only knowing the
Absolutely.
subject matter, you have to.
Sophie, in any subject, not only in the
Any
environment,
subject.
in any
Yes.
subject.
Yes, that's true. That's a very, very important point. Okay, Ilaria, I'm going to promise you that I'm going to keep in the 1 hour. Okay, so this
Don't
is my
worry.
last.
We started 5 minutes later, so you
Oh,
have more 5 minutes. Don't worry.
okay, and if I finish before the 5 minutes, it's not the end of the world. Just one last question. Okay, we had a very short introduction about environmental sustainability. And I think there are two approaches of how to teach environmental sustainability. And what I want to do is just ask this question and have you think about it. One way of teaching environmental sustainability is take the 17 different sustainable development goals, all right? And you have a course, right? Well, 1 week you learn about life on water. 1 week you learn about life on Earth. The next week you talk about, social inequality. And the fourth week you talk about biological degradation and so on, and animal migration, climate change. And you have a course, and that's a course in environmental sustainability. Okay, that's one way of teaching it. Or, considering the nature of environmental sustainability, would it make more sense to teach environmental sustainability as an interdisciplinary subject, just as you teach English, just as you teach science, just as you teach history, just as you teach economics, that in every course that is taught, that one module should be related to the environmental implications within that subject area, okay? Because it's all interrelated. And maybe I'll just finish with a story that this is history, but it's also about environmental degradation. So how do you teach it? Okay, because I'm originally from the United States. I'll tell you what happened in the United States. A long, long time ago, over 100 years ago, we had World War I. All right? Now, the Europeans entered the war in 1914. We entered the war in 1917, okay? But what happened was once we entered the war, we had to change our agricultural system. And in the Midwest of the United States, what they did is they translated all their produce to growing wheat or a certain kind of wheat to produce bread. Okay? So what does this have to do with environmental sustainability? Well, once you just use one kind of agricultural product on the land, that means you're using up many nutrients. And what the tendency is when you deal with agriculture, you should change the crops from every so often, because different crops take different nutrients. And what happened was the soil became weaker and less nutrient. And then in the mid-30s, on top of the depression, there was a major dry spell in the United States. And what happened was that the topsoil, all the topsoil, was eroded away. And what happened was known as the Dust Bowl. The Midwest United States became a dust bowl. There were sandstorms that would go to the West Coast and to the East Coast of the United States because the land wasn't maintained. There was biological degradation of the soil. It could not be maintained. It lost its strength, and the farmers lost their lands. They became migrants. They couldn't live. The banks foreclosed their farms, and they had to migrate to other parts of the United States. Now, this is history. But you see, if you can integrate environmental sustainability and learn from the lessons of the past, you could take the case of what happened in Africa in 1984 in Ethiopia. So the question is, do we teach environmental sustainability as a topic within itself, or is it more useful when you do it as an interdisciplinary topic within the required subjects that have to be taught anyway? Even in math, you can make problem solving dealing with the environment even from a young age if you want. Yeah, you could go on so there are many ways, innovative ways, and one thing I would want to think that our teachers are, and that they are creative, and in their creativity, no matter what subject you're teaching, you can always involve some sort of environmental implication. I don't know if anybody really has an important comment that they'd want to make on what I just said. This is something that I just wanted to leave you with. What would be the best way to do it? To teach it as a subject in itself, or to have it interdisciplinary? And what do you think? Does anybody have a strong idea about this? Or is it something that you would like to really think about?
Before I give the floor to Costas, I have two comments in the chat. Actually, the first one was about the group discussion from Maggie Vigliotti, which says, we discussed how important it is to organize activities and labs regarding the environment, such as going to clean the surrounding area, labs to discuss environmental issues, teaching waste sorting in class, etc. And then we have a comment from Angela, which says, if I can add something, the adults nowadays don't care about the problems they don't see. It's like if they don't see environmental problems, they don't think they exist.
Excellent. Excellent. I think whatever, it's definitely something that's close to all of us. And and there's no doubt that education should have like a leading role in developing an active, environmentally aware citizen. It's crucial. It's crucial for for our future. Okay. Any other comments, or do you want to give the floor to Costas? Yeah.
You are free to intervene instead of writing in the chat if you prefer. Because I see many comments in the chat, but if you like, you can just raise your hand and interact.
Yes.
Actually, we prefer that kind of interaction.
Yeah, I would like to see you and hear you.
I would give the floor to Costas and then to Jasmine.
No, Jasmine first and then me.
Okay, then Jasmine first.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I think it's a good thing to be multidisciplinary, because that way we can understand that, like, this topic, it's in everything. It's literally everywhere in everything, because we live in nature. So nature is everything. We are nature. But also, I think it's very important for it to be thought in an interactive way, like this, like we are talking about this, we are thinking about this, because many times I had like some people hearing about these things. We hear about this all the time, but sometimes we don't. We're like, oh yeah, that's it, that this happens, but we can't do anything. And
Yeah,
so,
we're passive. We're passive. We're not active.
yeah.
That's the whole
But
problem.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's difficult because we have to change our habits. We have to do something. So we have to learn how important this is and how important this is in every topic of our life, because this can really change our lives and the future for our children, for our future and everything. So I think it's important for it to be multidisciplinary, but also interactive, because we have to learn to do things and to change little habits, maybe.
It might be easier. It might be easier to do it interdisciplinary because it's already built in. It's just a matter of maybe training teachers to implement and then give the teachers the knowledge so that they can implement it into their curriculum.
Yeah, also the thing about teachers being passionate, because this involves people. Like I said before in the first question, my teacher was very cautious about this thing. So she made us believe this was important. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joela?
Yeah, thanks so much. Also conscious for the time, it will be short, but I think, yeah, totally agree. And also because I think interdisciplinary can also help to not be only some abstract topic, but also to see in real life. So which kind of impact in the history, which kind of impact have in the production, in the economy, and in sport as well, or in new technology. So I think also it is really give the motivation for the children to, or not only children, but all kind of students to see that it's not an abstract topic, but it's in real life. So it is also important to have in multidisciplinary topics. Yeah.
Fantastic. I think a lot of important things were brought up today. And Costas, did you want to have a closing comment? Did you?
Closing. I think Marco was raised his hand. Am I right, Marco?
Excellent.
Yeah, I would like to add just one thing, that in the chat someone wrote down. They say the Huddle people don't care about the environment. I think that it's half wrong, half right. The half wrong because you see, our teacher is a Huddle person. You see that it's put passion or very into this topic. But in another hand, probably the new age or the young people have more passion for this topic because they have seen the future. But probably the adult person, most of the time they think, yeah, for the next 10 years, it won't be my problem. So we have to engage more people, and probably for the older people, we have to say, yes, probably it's not your problem in the primary, but your children, your grandchildren will have this problem. So how can I say, this topic has others. It's really important. And my colleague or another student say most of the time is a kind of abstract situation. No, because have the impact for everything. So I would like to add that. Thank you for the chance.
Right. Thank you very much. Really just from your discussion, really can see how environmental education should be implemented. It really should be multidisciplinary because it involves everything that we learn, and it could be done so. But we won't be able to solve the world's problems, but I think we've come up with very good academic solutions to a major problem. And all I want to say is that I'm very, very impressed by the interaction that we had today. I think it was a good topic. It was a lively topic. And I'm glad you were all motivated. Now we have to go out there.
Engagement. Thank you.
I believe we
So,
still
yeah,
have some comment from Alessandro,
yes,
and someone else writed something in the chat.
absolutely. But let's
Alessandro,
hear.
if you want to share your thoughts, your
I,
reflection.
yeah, I want to take the point, pin the point of Marco Vincenzo, because it was interesting that he was taking half and a half. I believe that there is one generation that is victim of the consumism. So production in the food industry, in the water consumption,
Right.
in over buy large, don't stop, don't think, just buy. I think that we are coming back to the nature. This is also good in the food we eat, because the reverberation we will have is also, we will find it in the dish in the end of the day, in the quality of our life, in the education we give to our children, in the environment we will leave it back to the future, to our grandchildren even. And there are a couple of generation, mine maybe was just, but the previous of mine and my father, or my grandfather, they was into the the by large mentality, so that they had to, that there was economic boom. They wanted just to, these things was not on the table. This thing
Consume,
was not,
consume, consume.
yeah, just do it.
Yeah, right.
And we understood that we have a lot of sickness, we have a lot of mentality, also problems, civic, really, environmental endeavors that are wrong. So I believe that what Professor was indicating to us, to start with our children, is the best way to explain history, to take to take the history and keep it first hands to our children, to let them give the chance to live better, healthier, safer, in a more beautiful environment. That's it. That was my conclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandro. Costas?
Yes, and I would like to say what I would like to say. Yes, I would like to say that also we have current challenges regarding the environment. I mean, the demands of the energy that AI, requests from us right now. AI is something I'm very fun, but also it's a climate challenge because it needs, enormous amount of energy. But at the same time, I will say that is an opportunity. There is an opportunity to build our green skills and our responsibility, and also is an opportunity uh, for new inventions, new technology advancements, but at the same time by respecting all the time the environment, to be environmental friendly. And this is like how technology and civilization are advancing, like by challenges, but also by respecting the humans. Otherwise, everything happens about humans. Yesterday, we had a very nice presentation in leadership course, and they say, like, about entrepreneurship, and they say the first thing that we are doing all the time is for humans. So we need to think humans also means environment. If you don't respect the environment, no planet, no life in the planet. So we need, to take it, like positively, but also responsibly. And I had an idea. I don't know. I will propose this to Ilaria as a coordinator of the course. Let's take a photo within a week, and thanks, to the Stans and Sophie's lecture. But also, this is a topic of the course. I have a Padlet. I will send the link to Ilaria regarding, these activities in impact. Let's take a photo, thanks to this presentation, of a respect of the environmental, let's say, sustainability. Let's say, probably a garbage of recycling, or when you clean up your plate, that how to distinguish and, place it in different bags, or, some initiatives, from your town or from your university. Take a photo, or take a photo of a bad example. This is not an attitude of a sustainability. And let's create these photos by the end of the course and have, this photo collage, and we are going to place it as a poster. I think Ilaria will visit us in Crete. I don't know. I have this information, and place it as a result of this course. like in this event that we are going to be many people. This is photos of good and bad habits of sustainability, and other ideas they will come through these lectures. All right?
Yes, of course, we can do it for sure.
Yes, we can do it. And let's be active now. It's not just words. You mentioned we need to be active. I will bring examples from Vietnam, but Vietnam taught me how to be more environmental, let's say, responsible person.
Okay, thank you, Costas. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session. Thank you, Stan. I don't know, maybe, Sophie, I was interrupting you before. You would like to add something or
No, I
share
just want
something?
to thank everybody for their motivation and for their inspired.
Okay, thank you. So see you next week. The appointment is always on Tuesday from 15 to 17 Central European Time.
Ilaria, sorry,
Yeah.
I have a very short question. I have seen on the website that we, after the course, we got 2 CFU point. But
Three.
Okay, it's not necessary that we going to Creta because
No, for this course, no. There is no the chance to have the mobility in Crete.
But he can come by himself.
Got it. Thank you again.
Okay. Have a nice day and see you
Take
next
the
week.
ferry. Take the ferry from where is it? Brindisi. Go to